Mark Taylor Canfield, watching Free Speech TV in Seattle, Washington. Hey, Mark, what's on your mind today?
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
I'm well.
Been a while since I spoke to you.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. You know, it has been a tough week. It's a tough time for a reporter to have to report about these kinds of tragic things, and occasionally it does kind of get to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that happens to you occasionally, too.
Yeah.
But the reason I called in today was to talk about press freedom. And it does have to do with the way that these political campaigns have been covered and the way that racial issues are covered in the United States. But I just wanted to let people know that Reporters Without Borders, which is an international advocacy group for journalists, has ranked the United States 41st in the world this year on their World Press Freedom Index for 2016. And part of the reason for our lower ranking than other countries, by the way, Finland is number one. A lot of it has to do with the corporate control of our media. It's not so much a state-controlled media like you might find in Russia or Iraq, China, Iran,
Yeah.
China.
There's a lot of privately owned media in Russia too, by the way. They are out-capitalisting us in some ways in the Chicago school sense since the fall of the Soviet Union. But anyhow, back to you, Mark.
Yes, well, there has been a tradition, you know, of state-controlled media around the world. The United States is not necessarily suffering from that. What we're suffering from is a corporate-controlled media where just a few corporations have ownership.
Right.
And I wrote over at Daily Kos about this on Independence Day because I think that, you know, the First Amendment and the Bill of Rights, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and freedom of the press are the basic tenets on which a lot of human rights and civil rights issues have been pushed throughout the centuries, from the Magna Carta in 1215 with King James on. I mean, this has been in the Bill of Rights that the Parliament passed in 1688 in England, and it's a very, very important issue. What we've got in the United States is a Federal Communications Commission, which has been largely controlled by Republicans, who like this idea of corporate media consolidation, so that you just have a few corporations with all of these takeovers owning most of the media. And that's where a lot of our censorship comes from. It also comes from the fact that there's been a lot of prosecutions of whistleblowers in the United States, and also there's a lack of access to information from our own government sometimes. There's a tendency towards secrecy, which is making it more difficult for reporters to actually get the information about the workings of their own government. So I just wanted to let everybody know that Slovenia is actually ahead of us. They're number 40.
Right.
And the United States needs to do a lot better. So all editors, journalists, publishers out there, we need to take this issue on directly.
I remember when we were number 27 in infant mortality, and it was like, we're number 27. So now we're number 41 in press freedom. We're number 41. Right. I'm sorry.
There was a slight improvement, Tom, actually, in the last World Press Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders in 2015. We were ranked 47th.
Jeez.
But there's been a shift.
I'm guessing the internet has something to do with the improvement.
Yes. The alternative media is so important, Tom. Independent media like Free Speech Television and your program is so important. So people, please support all.
And the great research and reporting that you're doing. Mark Taylor Canfield. Mark, thanks for dropping by today. Good talking.
Thanks, Tom.
We'll be back.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.